Welcome to Project U 2.2, where my goal is to help you break barriers and step confidently into an elevated version of yourself. This podcast dives into mindset, growth, and creating the life you were meant to live. I'm Carrie, a former teacher turned leadership and growth mentor, helping people overcome self-doubt and embrace their next chapter. I believe you are your greatest project. Each week, we'll explore the habits, stories, and strategies that help you break barriers, step into your potential, and level up your life. Let's get started. Today we're talking about something that holds so many people back without them even realizing it. Comfort zones. Comfort zones feel safe, they feel easy, but staying in them for too long can quietly keep you from living the life you really want. Today, I'm going to unpack why comfort zones are overrated and how stepping outside them can unlock your confidence, joy, and purpose. Have you ever felt stuck, even though everything in your life looks fine? That feeling might be your comfort zone whispering, "Stay here. It's safe." But safe doesn't always mean happy. Let me share a story from my teaching days that perfectly illustrates stepping out of your comfort zone and why it's so important. Teens today hate phone calls. They text, they DM, they avoid speaking aloud at all costs. And so when we were working on projects that required phone calls, it would have been easier for me to just do it myself, but I didn't. I made my students do it. We practiced, we wrote scripts. Some students wanted me to sit next to them on speakerphone like a security blanket. Others wanted to go into a quiet space, trembling as they dialed. And I get it. This was terrifying for them. When I was a kid, all we had was a telephone to talk on to communicate. But now, many parents handle all of the appointments so kids never get practice. And then the funny stuff happened. One student called a paint store, and we had written down satin or glossy as the paint type. But when he went into the room by himself, he read his little script aloud, and he called it Satan. And the clerk paused, either confused or holding back laughter. And in his defense, they are spelled the same. Another time, a student panicked mid-call, stuttered, hung up, or thought he did, and he whispered to his classmate that was with him, "I just hung up on that lady," and it was so effing scary. Except he didn't say effing. He really said the word, only to hear the lady calmly say, "I'm still here." He came back into the classroom with a red face, knowing he had messed up. Even though these moments were hilarious, they were teachable moments. The students had to go back, try again, and work to get comfortable. And that's the lesson for all of us. Growth doesn't happen in our comfort zone. If you want confidence, resilience, or independence, whether you're a teen or an adult, you have to practice, stumble, and keep going. If you're a parent listening, teach your kids early. Have them order their food at a restaurant. Have them make phone calls. Speak up. Remember, the only way to get comfortable is to practice. That's how we all get better at anything. We all get in ruts or find that staying in our comfort zone seems easier. A few years ago, I was teaching full-time, raising 3 boys, and keeping up with everything else in life. On the surface, things looked fine, but inside, I was starting to feel restless and stuck. I was in a comfort zone of routine, obligations, and expectations. It felt safe, but it wasn't fulfilling. I was playing it safe, avoiding risk, change, and the things that scared me. And it cost me energy, joy, and confidence. It wasn't until I intentionally stepped outside that comfort zone, going on a health journey, traveling, exploring new passions, and investing in my growth, that I began to rediscover who I truly was, what I wanted from life, and just getting my spark back, my spark of joy, of Carrie, of who I truly was at my core. If I asked you to define what the phrase comfort zone means, What would you say? In my leadership class, I took my students and put them in a group to answer this same question. They did a pretty good job. Here are some of the responses I received about what a comfort zone means to them. One group said that it was a space where you feel safe, predictable, and in control. Another group said, it's like sticking to what you know, your friends, routines, activities, so you don't feel nervous or stressed. Basically, a spot where you don't have to try new things or take risks. Your mind tricks you into thinking safe is good, but growth happens outside of our comfort. I saved a few of them for last that were some of my favorites in typical teenager response. One was, comfort zones are when I play video games in my room or scroll through social media. I don't have to talk to new people or try anything scary. Another group said, sticking with my same friend groups at lunch and not trying out for new things. It's less stress and no weirdness. Another group said, ordering the same food in a restaurant because I know I like it, instead of trying something new and not liking it. And finally, when you chill and do the same stuff because you feel safe. Let's stop and think about it. I want you to think about the most confident, fulfilled person you know. Really think right now, who is someone in your life who just exudes confidence? Maybe you strive to be like them, or you think, how are they so confident? How do they walk so confidently, dress so confidently, carry themselves so confidently, speak up, talk so confidently? Guess what? They didn't get there by always playing it safe. They took risks, they faced fears, and leaned into discomfort. Did you know that over 70% of people say they're unhappy at work but stay in that same position because it feels safe? Think about how sad that is. Here's the kicker. The people who do take small risks report being far more confident, resilient, and satisfied with their lives. So why are we so scared? When we get scared, our mind plays games with us. We think it's easier to say no or to stay in our comfort zone. Let's look at just some of the dangers that come along with staying in our comfort zone. Danger 1, missed opportunities. When you only do what feels safe, you miss so many chances to grow, connect, or pursue your dreams. If you listen to my Dancing with the Local Stars episode, you will know that I held a little regret for an entire year after turning down an opportunity to participate in this event because I let fear win. Danger 2, fear becomes a barrier. The more you avoid discomfort, the more intimidating it feels over time. When I finally said yes to Dancing with the Local Stars, the first rehearsal was terrifying. Every move felt awkward. I wasn't a dancer. I felt exposed. I worried about looking silly, falling, messing up in front of an audience. Our pro dancer kept telling us to act, to make our moves big, to sway our hips. It felt so ridiculous. We couldn't help but laugh at ourselves. It was uncomfortable and awkward. Here's the thing. Staying safe in the corner would have been easier, and sometimes I questioned my decision. But safe doesn't lead to growth. I want you to really picture this just for a minute. Put yourself in my shoes, my dancing shoes. I had to learn how to isolate my neck muscle to do one of the moves. Maybe you know the one from the movie A Night at the Roxbury with Will Ferrell. The guys are bobbing their heads back and forth in the car, cigarettes in their mouth, to the iconic 90s song, What is Love? That's exactly one of the moves we were asked to reenact for our Dancing with the Local Stars performance. Let me tell you, I started out looking like a box turtle. Seriously, my neck was not cooperating at all. I had to enlist help from one of my students, Hannah, who was a dancer. Thanks for saving me, Hannah. to show me how to isolate my muscles and get it right. I watched videos, I practiced, I stumbled, I practiced some more, and at times I questioned the amount of time that I was investing into learning this one short piece of our performance. It was awkward, I felt ridiculous, and yet that's exactly the point. That moment of discomfort, of looking completely uncoordinated in front of everyone, is where growth happens. It's where you learn confidence, resilience, and surprisingly, a lot of joy. Can I just share that that moment of our dance was the best audience reaction of almost our whole performance? Just like my students calling stores or anyone trying something new, avoiding the scary, uncomfortable stuff may feel safe, but it keeps you stuck. The magic happens when you dive in, even if it's a little scary, feels a little silly, and a lot awkward. Danger 3 is life feels stuck. Routine can feel stable, but it drains us. It slowly drains our energy, passion, and motivation. Think about a time fear held you back from doing something you really wanted. How did it feel? What would your life look like now if you had tried? Is there an area of your life where you've been playing it safe? How is staying in that comfort zone holding you back from energy, joy, or the fulfillment you're looking for? If you could take one small step this week outside your comfort zone, what would it be? How would it make you feel afterward? Studies show that people who regularly challenge themselves, even in small ways, report higher confidence, resilience, and life satisfaction. A Forbes magazine article from 2020 said that 80% of achievements come from stepping into discomfort rather than staying in familiar routines. Think about how terrifying it was for my teens to call a store. I want you to picture that level of nervousness, palms sweating, heart racing, fumbling over words. For many of them, it was one of the first times they had to face fear and do something unfamiliar. Now imagine what it would be like if, as an adult, you never put yourself in situations that felt scary or uncomfortable. Avoiding challenges might feel safe, but it keeps us stuck, limits our growth, and prevents us from discovering our confidence, joy, and our potential. The point is this: growth, resilience, and fulfillment happen when we deliberately step into discomfort, whether we're teens learning to make a phone call or adults trying something that scares us. The process is the same. Practice lots, stumble, try again, and eventually gain confidence. Let's walk through some steps that you can take to help move yourself out of your comfort zone so you don't become one of the 70% of people who feel stuck or unsatisfied in your life. And if you are one of them, let's work right now to move you forward and get you out of that stuck place. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to do Dancing with the Local Stars, but start small. Think about one micro step outside your comfort zone this week. Get out of that safe spot. Say yes to something you normally decline. Remember, saying no seems easier in the moment, but saying yes might bring you more joy and happiness, even though there might be feelings of anxiety or imposter syndrome popping up in your head. Just say yes. The next time you feel scared about doing something out of your comfort zone, I want you to take these 4 steps. Number 1, reframe your fear. We've learned that fear signals growth, not danger. Our brains are wired to protect us, but we have to rewire it. Ask yourself, what's the worst thing that could happen? And can I handle it? Step 2, Visualize the reward. Focus on the excitement, the joy, the confidence that comes from stepping into the unknown. Step 3, build some accountability. Tell someone, share your goal with a friend, coach, community to keep yourself motivated. Step 4, reflect and celebrate. Every step forward, I don't care how small it is progress. Celebrate it. We have to shift our mindset when it comes to comfort zones. Students avoiding making phone calls is safe, but limiting. Me avoiding dancing, again, safe, but limiting. Both situations required stepping into discomfort for growth. When we step out of our comfort zones, we are rewarded with confidence, joy, resilience, and self-discovery. So, have you thought about something you've been avoiding because it feels scary? Maybe it's speaking up, performing, trying something new. The only way to grow is to step into that discomfort. Your comfort zone may feel safe, but it is quietly holding you back from the life you were meant to live. Growth, confidence, and joy are waiting for you on the other side, but you have to step out to claim them. If you are ready to stop playing it safe, start living your next chapter with intention and excitement, I would love to support you. Visit projectu22.org to learn more. Thanks for listening to Project U 2.2. Remember, comfort zones are overrated. Your future self is waiting for you on the other side of fear. Until next time, keep pushing yourself and stepping forward. Thank you for tuning in to Project U 2.2. Remember, you are your greatest project, and every step you take brings you closer to an elevated version of yourself. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend, subscribe, and leave a review so we can inspire even more people. Until next time, keep showing up for yourself, break through your barriers, and step boldly into your next chapter.